The other day, a friend of mine was comparing the human soul to a rubber ball held underwater. You know, a rubber ball, when it's held like that, will submit to wherever it's being held, but it really just wants to rise to the surface. The more deeply it's held under, the more it strains to do just that. The human soul, it's naturally buoyant. It wants to rise too. It wants to rise and be close to God. But oftentimes we ourselves are responsible for keeping it under. Our cares and concerns, our fears and anxieties, our addictions, be they to drugs or alcohol, but sometimes even to beliefs and ideas, can hold us under. Sometimes we just need to let our heads go and let our hearts lead the way. There's a curious story in the Gospel of John that illustrates this very struggle in which Jesus heals a man who doesn't want to be healed. See, the man has been laying beside a pool in Jerusalem that is rumored to have healing powers if you just get inside it. The man has been there for 38 years. So Jesus comes up to him and says, "Sir, do you want to be made well?" And the man actually fudges the issue. He says, "Well, I've never had anybody to take me inside the pool." Really? In 38 years? Jesus ends up curing him of his affliction, and he takes up his mat and walks, but he's mad. He doesn't even bother to learn Jesus' name. Later, he tries to turn Jesus into the authorities for healing on the Sabbath. And you know, why wouldn't he be a bit upset? I mean, after all, it's been 38 years. His whole world is shaped by the life at this pool. His whole reality has been shaped by his limitations. You know, as a Christian minister, I can relate to the man who didn't want to be healed. After all, it seems like in one form or another, Jesus has come up to me many times over the course of my ministry, asking me that very question. And I've resisted because my beliefs have had to change. My world has had to change in response to his call. When I hear that voice, it causes a rising, a deeply spiritual rising within me. But to actually accept a new way of thinking or believing would topple my whole apple cart. It would challenge what I believed in the past, and it might even upset my congregation. And I've been faced with that choice. Do I let go of where my head has held me in order to follow that rising of the heart? And that can be a very troubling and fearsome thing. Well, today, many clergy are faced with just that issue with respect to homosexuality. They've been exposed to enough people who are actually gay in their congregations or through friends or relatives, where their hearts have told them one thing, but their heads, though, keep them held to a point of view that they've held for a long, long time. And it's very, very scary for them to simply let that heart, let that spirit within them take them in a new direction. Can you relate to those clergy? Perhaps you've believed all your life that the Bible condemns homosexuality, that God condemns homosexuals, but your heart tells you something different. Do you sometimes feel a bit like that ball that's been held underwater overly long with respect to your own beliefs on faith and homosexuality? If so, I invite you to join me, other clergy and biblical scholars and theologians from Omaha, Nebraska and around the country as we explore this topic in our new series starting December 30th, called For the Love of God, Civil Conversation on the Bible and Homosexuality.